Hi, welcome back to the next part of making the lap journal. We finished off last time by putting on the spine cover and covering the small spine there, and also the attachment of the key locks in two different styles. So this is my sort of like homemade style, and that's a bought lock and key. And what I've also done is on this one I've gone and added the corner piece in each of the corners of the journal. I haven't done that on this one as yet because I'm just debating what I'm going to actually attach there. So that's the quick update. So what we're going to do next is start on the inside of the journal. And I've sectioned it off and I've put numbers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So they're the different sections that we can make up our journal. And I've also, just to remind myself, I've put the chains on and the charms on for the journal, so we don't lose the key really. And all I've gone and done is just punch 2 holes and put the chain through, put a little bit of glue to keep the chain in place because I don't want it moving around, and just put a little tiny piece of the manila envelope over it so it doesn't sort of chafe. So the areas we're going to look at now is the main spine here and the thin smaller spine, and they're the areas we're going to look at. So the first bit is to actually attach a piece of card ready to take the feather pen. So that's just going to attach like so, and then the feather pen is going to pop into that section there. If you don't want you can put a pencil or a pen, whatever that sort of takes your fancy. But we're going to make one of those and then attach them into the 2 journals. So I'm just going to move this out of the way for a minute. So the first thing I've gone and done is just made sure that that fits in the space. Now the main journal is 2.5 inches, so that one's just under 2 inches, and this one is just over 2 inches, about 2.25 inches. And I've just made a little tiny flap of card, and with this one I'm going to put 2 brads in there to make sure that it keeps nice and safe. And this is the one that's going to go in the journal that's got those brads. And this one is going to go in the journal that's got these small, tiny black brads. So I'm sort of like keeping the style running through the whole of the thing. And what I've gone and done, I've gone and measured it. I've bent over the card just there, like so. Slotted that into there where I'm thinking where I'm wanting it. And then I've pushed it up so I know that the pen will actually slot through that little hole that's there. So I've sort of like measured it. So I've got a pencil that's there, that goes through there, and I know that if I push that together it's enough for the pen to go through. So the first thing we're going to do is glue it. So we're going to pop a little tiny bit of glue on there like so. Now we don't want to glue right the way across because we want the gap to have no glue at all on it. And we're going to do the same there. So just about 1/4 inch in, and the whole of that bendy bit there, just like that. And then we're going to get our piece of card, and we're wanting it about 2.5 inches up. So, and to keep that secure, I'm just going to get a couple of my little clips. So I want that to be on there like that. So that's going to clip on there like so, and just hold that for a little while. And then that one's going to do the same, and that's going to clip on there like so. And then what we're going to do is decide where our brads are going to be. So I'm going to have 2 brads either side, roughly, well, let me put my glasses on, I'm struggling there trying to see, roughly about halfway down, and I think there should hold it fine. And again, just there. Now you can actually just use a hole punch, or or you can use a brad. It's entirely up to you. Now I've got one of the larger crop sealers, and I think it's called a Crocodile 2, or the big one. And I've done that because I've got I broke my thumb a couple of years back and struggle with that thumb now. And I'm just going to push that underneath, oops, and make the hole where I put the mark. And the same on the other side. So that's quite easy. Oops. Perhaps if I went in a different angle, it might be better. Yes, Norma, would be. Do apologise for talking to myself. I don't know whether anyone else does it, but I do it all the time. Oh, so we've now made the 2 little holes, and we're going to just pop our brads in, just like so, and open those out. There we go, like so. Move that one out of the way for the time being because I don't need that for a minute. And do the same with the other side with the brad. Just pop that in and open them out like so. There we go. And that should hold that nice and neat, ready for the pen to fit through. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is actually attach those to the inside of the journal itself. And to do that, I've got some red tape somewhere. Here it is. And I'm going to run some red tape down the side like so. Oh, that's stuck to me paper, which I will change because it's now starting to look a little bit tatty. There we go. And the same again on that side. Ooh. Trying to keep it as close to the edge as I can. Now I like to use both the red tape and glue, and the reason I do that is the red tape secures it in place while the glue actually sets. And the glue that I like best is the Sea Whites of Brighton. It's a really, really good strong glue. It's more like a bookbinding glue, and I find that works really well. And because I'm selling my journals and I want them to last as a keepsake, I think doing both is best. So both doing the double-sided tape and doing the wet glue is the best option. But that's just my preference. You can use whatever glues that you've got preference to. Now if it's not coming out, or the red's not coming off the double-sided sticky tape, you just give it a little press down so it adheres to the paper that's underneath. There we go. And it should come off quite easy then. And we're going to put this one in the journal that's got the little black glass, which in this case is this journal here. So I'm just going to open this up like so and go in here and fasten that down as centre as I can. Ooh, there we go, that's going to be about it. Yes. And put that down there like so. Then just to make sure that that glue secures quite well up there, I'm just going to put a bulldog clip, oops, that way. This bulldog clip's seen better days, if I'm honest, but then again so have I. Right, okay. There we go, and I'm going to just leave that to let the glue dry and that settle. And then on this one, I've already made this spine cover to go there. So all I'm going to do is exactly the same, which is to run the red tape across, like so. Oh, I do apologise about the dogs barking. I am dog sitting at the moment, and when next door's dog starts to bark, my visitor also decides that he wants to do the same. Oop. Which I'll go in a sec and sort out. Just bear with me one sec. Okay, so we're off again. Hopefully things have calmed down again. So I'm just going to take the red tape off there and the red tape just off there. Whoops, like so. And then attach it to the main. There we go. The main inside spine. So that should make sort of sense to you. So the next thing we're going to do is put that on one side, and we're going to have a go at making the pens, or the faux pens I should say, really. Okay, so they're quite easy, quite simple to make, as long as you've got all the bits. That's what it's like everything really, isn't it? So I've got a brown one and a black one. So the black one is going to go into the ones that's got the black brads. And I just need that to be roughly, when it's got its nib on and everything else, it needs to be about 8 inches long, because that's how big the page is. And I don't want it to be any more than 8 inches long. So what I do is I'll measure the feather. So that's about 8 inches, about there. So I don't want it to be any bigger than that. So I'm going to snip that off like so. Put those feathers on one side. Okay, and we'll just test it to make sure it is 8 inches. Just a little bit bigger, but that's fine. And then we're going to strip off some of the bottom feathers. So just grab hold of them and pull them off, just like that. Okay, like so. And that's our first feather. And then this one we're going to do about the same size. So you can just come off just a little bit there. Like so. Now these happen to be ostrich feathers, and you can buy them online. Well, you can in the UK, and I'm sure you can do that in other places. And I think I got these off eBay, I think it was, that I bought these from. So again, I'm going to pull the feathers that I don't need, because I just need a little pokey bit there, ready to go into the base of the pen. Now, you did see me make these as part and parcel of the cover where the key went through. So I've just gone and made a couple of extra ones. I don't need that piece of card, so I've just trimmed that piece of card off. And as I say, I've made 2 of those. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a pen nib that we're going to slot into there like so, like that, on both of them. Now again, you can pick up these pen nibs. I bought these from a flea market, but you can get them online if you need to. I just need to push that one in a bit. There we go. So you can get them either online, or as I say, you can pick them up perhaps in a charity shop or a flea market or something like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just pop those into there like that, but we're going to glue them down, and then they become just small little quill pens. Now the glue of choice for this one is the Heavy Body Gel, which I like using, I must admit, for a lot of my different glue needs. So we're going to take a little blob, not so much, and we're going to just force it down into the little hole that's there like so. So I want it to go deep into the hole, just like that. And then I'm going to get my feather, and I want it to be straight. So, whoops, there's the nib, and I want my feather to go in straight like that. I don't want it to be crooked, I want it to go straight, just like that. And there you have your little pen, and I'm going to leave that to dry. You've got a little tiny bit that's sticking out there, but we can trim that off once it's dry. So I'm just going to leave that on one side to dry, and I'm going to do exactly the same now with this other one. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of glue. Now obviously if you haven't got this, you can use another form of glue. This is just my preference again, but I don't think that the likes of a PVA is going to be strong enough. So perhaps a fabric glue or one of the stronger glues that's available might be your option. So again, making sure that the feather and the nib is going to be in line, and we're just going to push that right inside like so, and then leave that to dry, just like that. So you've got your two pens ready to go into our book. So just put the lid on the glue, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the book. So the black one's going to go into the book with the black brads, and this one's going to go into this one like that, and that's just going to fit into the book, just like so. So I'm going to put these on one side to dry completely before they go in. In actual fact, I'll probably leave them until we assemble the book completely. So the next bit is going to be section 4, which is this thin spine. So if you remember rightly, what we did was we covered a piece of card that fitted in there just nice. And what I've gone and done is I've just made some holes. So I've done 3 sets of 2 holes. Now on this one I've actually marked it, ready to punch the holes. And we're going to attach to this, we're going to attach a notebook, which we can decorate at a later time, and also one of my black envelope journals, just a mini version of them, so it's just 4, and they're going to slot into there. And again, we're going to have those where they've got belly bands and corner pockets, etc, etc. But I just want the basic ones for the time being, and then they're going to fit into there. So when that comes up, they fit nice and snugly. So that's what I'm going to show you next. So I'm going to put this on one side, like so, and we'll start with the envelopes. Now on my sister channel, which is Crafted by Norma, not Craft with Norma, I show you how to make a complete envelope book or junk journal base, right the way through from start to finish. But it is very, very simple, the way I like to do it, and there's so many different ways you can make these envelope journals. So the first thing is I just bend my pointy bit to one side like so, and then you've got that line that's running down there, and then I get the next envelope and I do exactly the same, and I run that down there. And the key is then to have this one facing that way, this one faces that way, but we're going to put the envelope underneath it, and we're going to line it up just like so. So the corner here and the corner there meet the corners of that envelope. And keeping my fingers on those corners there, I'm just going to run some wet glue along. And again, the reason why I use wet glue is it just gives me that flexibility to move the envelope if I need to, because I'm going to try and keep those corners there as straight as I can, and then flip that over and give it a wipe like so. Turn it over and it should match and be nice and straight, which it is at the moment. And then we just do the same again. We just get another envelope, fold it over just like so. You have the envelope there, latch those there, keeping your finger there so it keeps nice and still. Just run some glue. Doesn't have to be a lot of glue. I don't want to drench the paper. And then I just run my fingers along just like that. And then again, just making sure that it's nice and firm, we just go in just like that. Fold it over and check that it's all in line, which it is. And then we'll just do the last one. Now you can make this as big or as thick as you want. I find that having 4 is ample for the space that we've got in the lap journal. And you're going to be filling it with ephemera, etc, etc, which we can, I'll show you at a bit further down the process. And again, we're just going to clip that like that and across like so. And again, if it moves, you've got that wiggle time to get it straight. There we go. And then the last bit, to make sure it all fits in nice and straight, is we're going to get the glue and we're going to run along the edge here like so with our glue, and then we're going to fold this up, running our fingers along the edge to keep it straight, and fold that over like so. And there we've got our envelope journal insert. So we've got 2 of those. So put those on one side. And then the book itself is just so simple. So at the moment I've just got black card. I've folded it over. Now this card happens to be, it's got like a pattern on it, but we're going to decorate the front of this. And if you want to, you can decorate the back, and you can also make a pocket in the back if you want. And I've just, for this particular notebook, because we will fill the book with various notebooks, I've just left it with plain paper, so I've just used photocopy paper for this. So I'm just going to put that there so it keeps the page still, so it's not going to slip and wiggle anywhere. And I'm just going to put that down like that. And then what I'm going to do is, where we've got the holes there, I'm going to roughly along this line there, because we've got a fold line there, and I'm going to mark where I want the holes to go. Okay, so it's roughly there. I can't see because I've got a shadow. There and there. And again, I'm going to punch those out using the crocodile. But again, you don't need to, you can use your own hole punch, or you can actually use a bradawl or your pokey tool. I've known it as a bradawl because it's a tool that my dad used, and he was called a bradawl, although it was, I've still got it actually somewhere, a really old one. And it was ideal for making holes ready to put screws and nails in or marking things. So we've got those ready, and then we've got the envelope itself, and we're going to do exactly the same. we're just going to roughly mark that where we want it. Okay, so we need a hole about there, we need a hole about there, and we need a hole about there. Okay, and we're going along swingingly. Now again, you don't have to use black envelopes, you can use any colour envelopes you want or any size. These ones are for cards that are 5 by 7, so they're just a bit bigger than 5 by 7, and I've made the book to match the size of the envelope. So the next, I'm going to want to have my vintage needles. So when I buy needles, I like to buy vintage ones, if I'm honest. Because I find that most of them were made in Sheffield, which in the UK was renowned for good quality steel. If you buy more modern ones, they come mostly from abroad, and the stainless steel isn't as good a quality, but that's just my preference. So I'm going to use, because my books are going to be quite dark, I'm going to use some coloured dark ribbon to sew my books into situ. So 1, 2, 3 and a half, roughly. Okay, so we're gonna cut like that, get my needle and thread it through, and we're going to start with the middle hole. So you can see the hole there. Yeah, you can see the hole. So I'm going to put my needle through that hole, bring it across, and I'm going to put it through the middle hole, the first middle hole of my piece of card. I'm then going to come up through the bottom hole, like so, and I'm going to find the bottom hole there and pull that through, like so. Okay. There we go. And I want to leave a little tag about 6 inches long. And then I'm going to go to the top hole, pop that through, and then go to the corresponding top hole there and pull that through. Now I know it's difficult to see because it's black on black, which isn't the best of colours. So we're then going to go back to the middle hole, and we're going to put the needle through the middle hole and through the middle hole there, like so. Whoops, that's it. Like so. I'm going to pull quite tight. Now what I do want is to have my ends either side of the centre of this piece of ribbon that's coming down. I can take it off there now, and I'm just going to pull quite tight, and then I'm going to do 1, 2 and tight, and then just leave it. And I can cut those dangly bits off to about there. These feathers have gone everywhere. There we go. So that's the first bit. So that's now in situ there. And what I'm going to do next is do exactly the same now with the book. So again, 1, 2, 3 and about a half. Cut that off, get the needle and pop that through. Okay. Go through the centre hole, and then on here we've got the centre hole again. Now if you have decorated these before you stitch them in, please make sure that everything is looking in the right direction, because you don't want one that's looking like it should be in the other side of the world. So for like here it would be Australia. And then we go through the bottom hole there, and we need to come up and through the bottom hole there, like so, and pull it along like that. And then we're going to go to the top hole, and we're going to find the corresponding top hole this side, like so, and we're going to pull that through, like that. So there we go. And then we're going to go then to the middle hole, and we should find the middle hole on the book to thread it through, which I'm trying to do at a distance. There we go. Okay, and pull that through. Now again, you've got to make sure that you've got these two ends are opposite. The two ends are on opposite sides of your main ribbon, like so. And then we're going to tie that off. 1, 2, 3, and tie that quite tight, like that. Pull those down, and then we can cut those off, like that. And then you've got your book that's situated like that. So we're going to take these out now, because we don't need those. But what I am going to do, because it's going to make life a little bit easier for me, I'm going to put this really big paper clip and paper clip those two together, because what we're going to do now is attach this to the spine of the book. So we've got the book, and I'm wanting my notebook at the back and my envelopes to the front, and we're going to put it into there like so. So what we're going to do again is get the red tape, and we're going to red tape it and glue it. Okay, so find the end of the red tape, and we're going to put red tape to the edge like so. Trim that off. And do the same again. To the edge. And trim that off. And then push that in nice and tight, like that. Just need to trim this end off. And then we're going to wet glue the centre. Okay, just like that. There we go. Take those off. Take that off. Like so. Ooh. And then, as I say, I want my envelope to be in the front. This is 1, 2, 3, number 4. And I'm going to place that where I think I need it, and I'm going to just off on that one. Yeah, I'm just off on that one, so I just need to pull that off just a little bit, because I'm not really in line. There, that's better. Oops, that was better. Right, okay, there we go, that's better. And we're going to push those down right the way down so it fixes on. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a couple of my clips to secure those ends until they dry and they glue. Until they glue down. Okay, so we've got the inside all well prepared, ready for the next sections. Okay, so we'll just recap quickly. So we've got the key and the chain put on now. we've made the faux pen to slot into the section 2, like so. So when that closes up, you've got that gap there. And then we've made a notebook, which we can decorate afterwards, and we've also made the envelope journal. Now I'm making sure that I've got enough space here, because obviously this will get a little bit chunky by the time we've finished. And we can also put a pocket in the notebook if you want to, front and back. So again, we've got some space there. And then that all folds over like that, and we've got the start of our journals. So do hope you've understood everything I've tried to explain to you, because it's quite that was quite intense with all the bits and pieces that we needed to do. And if you've subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We'd love to have you on board. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you at the next one, where we start doing the inside of the book in different sections. Okay, thanks very much for watching. See you again. Bye.